Hey guys, welcome. My name is Clara Kitao, and today we are going to talk about my new series. It's called Single and Searching, right? It's for all my single sisters out there navigating this journey. It is a very tough journey. It is very, very difficult, but it's extremely rewarding because sometimes when we're in this journey, we tend to complain a lot, right? Sometimes when God has you in the single season, right? We'll call it a season. When God has you in the single season, it can feel like forever. Like it's taking a long time, nothing's changing, what is happening? I'm not seeing, I'm hidden. And it can feel like this I need to act fast. It can put you in a desperate move, right? And that's why this is a series to help us or to help all the single sisters out there, right? And brothers, right? To navigate this season or to navigate this journey well until you get to the other side. Because sometimes it is very hard. It will lead you to sometimes if you're too much um, complaining, sad, discontent, and all these feelings, it will literally lead you away or astray. And you will find yourself in the hands of the counterfeit. You will find yourself fallen, and it will just be, a whole another problems, right? And so that's why this is a very near and dear topic that I want to talk about today. And I think that it will bless you and it will help you to navigate it better, right? So we're going to start from the beginning. And what we're going to talk about today is, right, you have to be able to understand when God is preparing you for the single season, because sometimes you may be like, with your boyfriend or, with a guy that you have a crush on, and all these things are happening. However, you have to understand, if you want God to um um match you or to bring your husband, he has to prepare you for it. And that is why we have this single journey. And so everything has a season, right? That is Ecclesiastes. We have a season, right? There's a season to laugh, there's a season to cry, there's a season to plant, there's a season for everything. It's also the same thing. We have a season to be single in hidden. And so, this single journey, basically, God puts us in this journey so He can prepare us, right? He can uproot all these things that have been planted, the traumas, all these things. He puts us in this place to prepare us. And that is why it's very, very important to be able to know, why is God putting me in this stage? And so that is why we have to start, right? We have to start with um number one, that when God puts you in this single journey, He separates you, He hides you. First of all, like, if you have a boyfriend that you know is not going to be your husband, that is a sign, right? It's a sign. So it has to start, first of all, right? It has to start with God kind of separating you and your crushy, your boyfriend, or whatever. If God, God knows that this person is not for you, he is not your husband, I want to lead you to your husband, He will separate you. Okay, that is a fact. He will come to separate you. You find like you were dating this guy for 4 years, and then all of a sudden the relationship ends. And sometimes it can be hard, it can be tough, it can be, nerve-wracking, it can be all these feelings. However, when you will look at it in hindsight, you will find, you know what, everything that God did, it was His plan that ultimately led me to my husband. And that is why we have to be able to keep a clear mind, right? That when God separates you sometimes from that boyfriend and the crushy and the guy that you're talking and messing around with, if God comes in between, know it is for a season and He wants to take you on this single journey. And that's why this single journey is not for the faint hearted whatsoever. It is for the people who understand why God is putting me in this place. Okay, so when everything that has when God is leading you in this season, understand He will equip you for this season, right? Every season has its weapon. It has its weapon. So that's why we have to be able to be equipped. He will equip you for this season to navigate it and to get to the other side. He's not just putting you in the single season so that you can die here, that you can just, like fall away in this place. No, He has already equipped you. Sometimes you may look at it and think, after you get to the other side, you will definitely think, wow, how did I make it through there? How did I overcome that? How did I do this? How was I able to go throughout this season for this long? Because God equipped you for it. Period. He equipped you for it, and that is why we have to be very, very um, careful, or we have to be very, very alert with what God has put how God is leading you, right? So when you're in this single journey, always understand one thing: know the duration for the season. How long is God putting you in this single journey? How long? Because if you do not know how long you are in this journey, you will lose track, right? For some people, they're in the single journey for short time, even 6 months, right? God will have you, like He will have you be single for just 6 months before before you meet your husband, or He leads you to your husband. Other people, it is for I don't know, 1 year, 4 years, 8 years, 10 years, 15, or even maybe 20. But always know that God, there is always a duration for the season. There's the beginning of a season, and every season comes to an end. Same way, we have the 4 seasons. We have summer, we have winter, we have autumn, we have all of this. It all comes to an end at some point, right? So that's the same thing. The single season, it has a beginning and it always has an end. So you have to know how long is the season, how long will it take. This is a time where we have to find out, and it all depends on, sometimes it all depends on the trauma. It all depends on whether you're healed or not. The season will take long depending on whether you're healed or not, depending on the person that God is preparing you, or the wife that God is preparing you for your husband, right? And it may look like it is a very, very long one. If you know you have all these traumas that you haven't dealt with, if God is the master matchmaker, He's not going to present you unhealed, burned, wounded. He wants to make sure that you're healed, right? That you're healed in order to finally present you to this man, right? And sometimes you may think, well, I don't have that, I don't have a lot of traumas, I'm just okay, I'm good. But you may never know your spouse, right? Sometimes your spouse may need time to heal. So God is actually also preparing him on the other side, so that when both of you come together, you are one. So we have to be able to be conscious of this stuff, right? Let us be conscious of it. Let us understand why God has us in this season. And we have to know one thing, that when God has you in this single season, He doesn't want you to be messing around with some guy, Many of us were single and searching, and we're, messing around, like entertaining some guy that is not going to be your boyfriend, but like he's keeping me company, so let me entertain him, like I know nothing's going to happen, nothing's going to come out of this relationship, but I'm lonely right now. No, no. When God has you in this season, it's definitely right. It is most definitely you for you not to entertain other counterfeits. They're not potential, unfortunately, they're counterfeits, right? So that is why we have to be able to be mindful of that. We should not entertain. Sometimes, even if, sometimes there are people who are not entertaining counterfeits, sometimes God cuts out all those connections. You feel like you are in a hidden place. Nobody's seeing you, nobody's in your DMs. You don't have any guy that is like into you that wants to, flirt around. Nothing. And so you're asking a question like, am I ugly? No. God has you in a single season. And He is hiding you because He is preparing you, right? And so we have to know one thing, that when God has us in this stage, He also wants us to Himself. And that is one thing that we're going to talk about in our next episode or our next series, right? Part two, where we're going to talk about all things God, all things trauma. And so stay tuned because we have a lot to navigate about this season. Thank you guys.